What's up, y'all? My name is Eugene. Before the podcast starts, I want to let you know where you can find our podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, so make sure to follow and subscribe to our channels, as well as give us a 5-star rating. You can also check us out on Twitter and TikTok at Spin the Rock to get updates about episodes and previews of our show. All of the links can be found in our descriptions. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to the Spin the Rock podcast, a basketball podcast for fans with fans. I am your host, Angel, and with me today is
Eugene?
Tyler?
And Vaughn.
Well, we have some exciting stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to kick it off into something that, we're going to ease into it. Rj Barret has re-signed with the Knicks 120 for 4 years.
Yes, sir.
What y'all think about that re-signing?
What's already understood doesn't need to be explained, bro.
This is why the Knicks will always be the Knicks, bro. He got him and Brunson on 2 fat-ass contracts for why, bro?
For extended contracts at that.
They're not even all-stars with that contract, man. Like, it ain't even much that that's pretty much all I want to say, man. It's just, come on, bro.
That's all I gotta say right here, bro. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I love the Knicks slander. I love it.
Yeah, I'm an RJ Barret fan, and even I think that's kind of outrageous.
I'm an RJ Barret hater.
Wow.
We got 2 very opposite opinions.
Bro, I'm slumped.
I didn't know that. I had no clue you're a hater.
He that Team USA meme on the plane, bro. Just
That's wild.
What we like about RJ Barret and what we hate about RJ Barret.
I just don't think he's like that. Not yet.
Oh yeah.
I think he's very overrated at this time in his career right now.
He still got more to do. You think?
I would actually agree with that. Like he's not
overrated. I feel like he gets a lot of. I feel like he gets a lot of hate. Overrated. That's kind of like. I won't say he's underrated.
Yeah, but like he. I feel like he just needs more time to develop. Like the contract right now is crazy, but I'm sure he'll get better with time. It's just like right now is like, damn, it's a lot of faith in this man.
With that.
That's the only thing with me. I don't really have like a solid opinion on him like that.
I mean, he's shown glimpses, but it's for me personally, it's just not there yet. Because when he was first entering the league, people were like, "What were they calling him?
Maple Mamba or something crazy like that."
Yeah, some crazy like that. I'm like, he wasn't even like that at Duke.
Yeah, he was.
So I was like,
he was good on Duke.
It was just, no, he was, but he wasn't like
great.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I didn't know people were calling him Maple Mamba. That's kind of crazy.
He had a lot of. I remember people were making fun of him because he couldn't hit a free throw at one point in his college season. That was like the one critique I remember about him.
They need to stop with these Maple names because they did that to Wiggins too, Maple Jordan, and look, they're cursing these players.
Well, I mean, he's kind of sitting pretty now, all-star starter, which I don't think he should have been a starter in a ring. So, but
yeah,
I mean,
true.
But still, that was kind of a wild thing to say coming out of college, like.
Yeah, it really is. All right, well. What I thought about the RJ Barret sign, which is going to lead into our next topic, is looks like the Knicks aren't getting Mitchell, and I was right because Donovan Mitchell is now a Cleveland Cavalier. Wow, so crazy. So Cleveland got rid of Sexton and Markkanen and
their draft pick Agbaji.
Yeah, and then a couple first-round picks. And they got Mitchell in return. What do y'all think about that?
I'm about to catch some Cavs games this year. I haven't touched the Cavs in years.
I'm not even a Cavs fan, but this is gonna be very exciting to see, bro. Mitchell and Garland backcourt already got me excited. Like I could just imagine, like, and they were 7th seed last year, but the whole play-in thing. That's why So seeing what they do without. Someone like Mitchell, I can just imagine like how much farther they can go. But right now, it's just pure excitement from my end. So
I was already excited to watch them, given Colin Sexton was coming back. And I kind of feel bad for him in a sense, but I think it'll be better for him because he's just a bucket. Like he can get buckets. So I think being on the Jazz for him will hopefully help his career, give him that next step. In terms of the Cavs, I'm probably even more excited now to watch them, given, Donovan Mitchell, top NBA player in the league, and then Garland, who I've always been a fan of, just watching him play and such. And then you got Jared Allen as well. I've also been a fan of. So
Mobley
he's
too.
going to be hooping. And the Mobleys, both of them.
Yep.
It's crazy. Fun fact. The Jazz and the Thunder have 15 first-round picks each in the next 7 drafts.
So either Bronny's going to Utah or Oklahoma. Not just Oklahoma. Either or. It's not definite this time. Danny Ainge might want him.
So where do you guys see, because no, I think we all agree that the Cavs are just going to get better. So what about the Jazz? Do you think the Jazz are going to miss the playoffs, be a play-in team? Where do you see them landing in the seats?
Bottom of the barrel. Like, they have no
Yeah.
one. There's no way Bojan Bogdanovic is staying. There's no way Jordan Clarkson's staying. Those are getting traded for more first-rounders, I think.
Yeah, I forgot they got rid of what's his name, Joe Ingles, and then I think he tore his ACL, and then that's when they traded him, right? I mean, either way, he's gone. Like that, it's just I don't even know who's on the team anymore, honestly. Like aside Jordan Clarkson and like a couple others, like Pascal, I don't know, but yeah, they got some rebuilding to do. Yeah,
Right. Maybe Max playing if everything goes right, but even then, that seems like kind of a stretch.
I see a lot of people saying that they're still going to be a playing team. I saw a lot of that on Twitter.
Wait,
that must be the Jazz
way.
fans.
Facts. Utah fans.
Well, I said the Sacramento Kings would be a play-in team this year, and it's just all that more easier with the Jazz probably tanking.
Yeah. This is gonna be an interesting season. That's all I got to say.
Nah, definitely. Bro, just with all the offseason moves, it's gonna be absolutely crazy. So crazy.
I'm liking it.
I just keep thinking about that Cavs team, that new roster. He's got Darius Garland, who's a reliable scorer and playmaker. That's what Donovan Mitchell needed. They thought Mike Conley was going to be that guy, but he's just kind of like on the decline when he got to Utah. So finally, he's got like a complimenting backcourt star with him.
Right.
Plus, you got Jarrett Allen. He was an all-star. And I like Karis LeVert, and I think he's got a good role in that team. So that's just the first time the Cavs have looked complete. Like even in LeBron's last years there, like they weren't really a team. They were just like
it was a one-man army. Come on,
It
bro.
was just a bunch of
it was
all right players on one squad.
And with Mobley, yeah. Oh, my fault. You got it.
No, it was just like a good team, well put together. Like there's a vision there. Like there's a mindset of what this is going to look like. So that's exciting.
Oh yeah.
So we're all high on the Cavs and not at all on the Jazz. I mess with that. This is kind of funny too because I think it was our second episode. I think it was Sleepers, Disappointers, and then Six Eaters. We mentioned the Cavs, I think, in that episode as like people were sleeping on them last season, and then they got Mitchell, and everyone woke up. Like everyone was like, "Hold on, this team is solid now." So that's exciting too. Leading into our hot seat, because I brought up their the amount of first picks the Jazz are going to be having, our draft picks. Do you guys think first picks are still a must in today's NBA? Are first picks still very important to have, or do you think just getting a lottery pick is good enough now? What else? That's our hot seat for today.
I mean, you need context for that. Like, what kind of first round pick are we talking about? Are we talking about low end? I think
Oh, I
there's
meant I
very.
said like first overall pick.
Okay.
Oh, first overall. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone wants a first round pick, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
like especially being number 1 overall. Yeah.
I mean,
But
you
there's
could
so
get
many,
like treasure in the second round. Enter
and there's always,
Jokic.
Mhm.
and then there's always diamonds late first round, like Jimmy Butler, Jordan Poole, some others I can't think of off the top, but
I mean, even Donovan Mitchell was like a 15 pick.
yeah. And Giannis was like the 14th, if I'm not wrong, or something like that. Michael Porter Jr. So
Yeah, you just need to have like a savvy scouting department on your franchise.
that's kind of a tough
I
question.
think it's important because it can either make or break your franchise. You know what I'm saying? All these busts that have come out, of the lottery and even, first draft pick, Marvin Bagley, Bennett, Odin, it just goes back so long. We see these players go pop off in college and then we don't see them play a game in the NBA. So I think having the first pick, obviously is important, but I think there's more importance to it than we actually think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're like. I get totally what you're saying because there's also first picks who can like change the entire culture.
Right, exactly.
Like they might not be like insane right away, but they'll still like eventually impact the team in some way.
Mm,
But I can also see why some people would argue that like having the first pick isn't that important anymore because we got Lucas and like how Tyler and Vaughn were just naming off like a whole list of guys anyone would want on their team. So I feel like it's like goes back and forth.
mm,
I think the important thing about first overall picks is picking like the best available player in the draft. Like you see teams like, even though it's just like high end picks, they pick someone who they think is the best fit, but that doesn't always work out. I mean, it wasn't a first round pick, but you always got the Marvin Bagley over Luca thing that happened, and it's like one is clearly like more experienced than the other, like Luca going in Europe, winning championship MVP over Bagley, who was just like a part of a solid Duke team. So like, how do you like strike that balance? I think is the issue. Like, obviously, if you're a tanking team, I always think you should get the best available player. Whereas like a team like the Celtics not too long ago, uh, they had the first round pick and traded Philly for the third, and they got Jason Tatum. So I think that was more of a best fit. But that's because like a tanking team, they need talent over a team like the Celtics at the time who were trying to compete. So I think that's
right.
that cost of fit versus value as a player.
Yeah. I see the vision. Yeah, and leading into our main topic today, poverty franchises. These franchise might want a first overall pick. So last week at the end of the podcast, we stuck around for a little bit and we compiled a list just so that we would, not be saying the same teams and also just to get a good idea of what we think is poverty franchises. So we have quite a few. We each have two, and then we have some extra ones at the end if we have time for. But first off, we just want to say, like, what do you guys define a poverty franchise as?
So I wrote this shit down because I had a good idea of like what these teams look like in my head.
God
So
spoke to him.
I I define a poverty franchise is a franchise with a long-standing inability to put together a competitive team, whether it be from money problems, location, or mismanagement. Like these are teams, even if they're a playoff team, if they make it at all, nobody sees them as a contender. And that's because like they're untrustworthy as competition to the point of being like a laughing stock.
Okay, that's a good definition.
I just pretty much summed it up to just like pretty much in one word, just a team that's like a losing franchise. Like not much accolades won throughout the teams, like franchise history. I mean, individual awards don't mean nothing because we're talking about the team here. So just the franchise of just not really accomplishing much throughout its tenured history. That's pretty much it. So losing it for a simple term.
For an extended amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, I'd basically the same definition, just a rebuilding team that really just can't seem to do anything for an extended amount of time. You know, just kind of always bottom barrel, you know, haven't made the playoffs in 5-10 years, you know, just trying to build through the draft kind of thing.
Yeah. So those are all really good definitions. When I think poverty, I think of as a player, like when players go to this team, do we hear about them ever again? Or are they in like the zone or the lost zone where like they're just banished from NBA talk for like the next 3 to 4 years? Like that's like Blake Griffin on the Pistons. Like who even remembers that run? Like
That's true. That's true.
That's crazy because that was like the best Blake Griffin because he could shoot. He had like
Right.
more in his bag and everything. Like,
yeah, and no one talked about him. I totally agree with that.
And even though they got swept by Milwaukee, he was still he was like the main reason they were like even like scoring. Like he was playing on one leg too. Like it just goes to show you how much he was really trying to really win the game. But it's Detroit. I'm sorry. Like.
And as I said, we have a list. I don't know if you guys remember what you said, so I'll remind you. Starting off with the Wizards nominated by Tyler. So we're gonna start off. Tyler, explain yourself first, and then we'll pitch in, like chime in on what we think.
Okay, so reason I said Wizards, so throughout its history, I did my research. The last time they won a championship was in 1978.
Jesus.
And I looked up their finals record, and they're 1-3 in the finals. So, you know, obviously they've drafted great players. You know, Wes Unseld, John Wall, Bradley Beal, but they haven't done much with these players. And Bradley, and the last player I just named, Bradley Beal, like it just seems like obviously he wants to win something there, but they're not building properly around this man, and he keeps staying because of the money. So. Like I think the last time they made the playoffs was about 5 seasons ago, when John Wall came back from was it his first? Anyway, he came back from injury, and then they took Toronto to 7 games, got bounced out the first round, and ever since then they've been just like bottom feeding these last few seasons. So there's not much else I can say on the Wizards. I feel like it's a problem with management, at least as of recently, because you got an all-star player in Bradley Beal, all NBA. Bradley Beal, and you're not using him correctly, and he's only getting older. So that's my thing.
That's a weird team because like they're in DC, which it's not a bad place to be at. It's not Indiana, you know, it's not the middle of nowhere.
The nation's capital. Like,
it's a great market. It's literally a prime market.
Yes.
Like.
It's not like the 90s when like there was a gun violence and they changed the name from the Bullets to the Wizards. It's like it's a developed place. Like I don't know what's so unsatisfying about that place that people don't want to go.
I think it's literally just a team. Like, you know, like Bradley Beal is seen as the player who essentially does everything for that team. So I don't think it's people don't want to play with Bradley Beal. I think it's they don't want to play with the rest of that squad.
Because you have
but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Because you got a mix of like young players and like some vets that they be signing on 1-year deals. Like, you know, you got Hachimura who just came back last season. I think he was out for personal reasons. They drafted a couple other players out of college that I don't even like remember the names off the top, if I'm being honest. But it's just like they don't know what they're doing. I feel like that's like the main thing with me. So
right. Yeah, and like I feel like it's always been a management problem too, because even when I lived out there, that was like it was like rookie John Wall, Swaggy P, Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jameson. There's like a couple other names I'm forgetting, but it was just like at that point, like they were there, but they weren't all the way there. So I think it's just been like a management problem, to be honest.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I don't think I've ever like saw a Wizards like player like off season move or like mid season move and be like, damn, the Wizards are killing it. Like, no,
Right.
like none of their moves like make you excited. They're just like, oh, okay, like I guess that'll work. Like we'll see.
like the last time I thought they were like they could have been taken somewhat serious was when they played Boston back in like it was Isaiah Thomas last season. I believe they went, was it 6 or 7 games?
It was a 7-game series.
Yeah, that was the last time I really thought that they could be taken serious. Ever since then, it's just like they're just an afterthought to me. Like every time I see them, it's like.
And that tells you how like Isaiah Thomas's last good season, like that says it all. Our other team next up, nominated by Vaughn, he put the New York Knicks. Vaughn, the Knicks. That's a bold one.
Okay.
I already know you're going to spit. Go.
There's 2 megalopolises of the United States, one on each coast. You got LA, they're West Coast, and you got New York City. Like that's the East Coast like hub right there. And if you're that big of a sprawling city, there's no excuse why their sports teams should be so bad for this long. Like even if you make the playoffs, there's no hope for them. Them Carmelo Knicks, they weren't good. They're getting bounced. That's a guarantee. And when the Julius Randle Knicks made the playoffs, I laughed because I'm like, these fans, they're gonna get so disappointed. And Trae Young proved it. Like he really became the enemy of that city.
I think they put him away in 5, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to watch, and I think a lot of that is mismanagement. Worse so than the Wizards, I say, because going back to like the draft picks, like go back to 2017, they picked Frank Ntilikina. Could have got Bam, could have got Donovan Mitchell, could have got John Collins, but no, they picked this obscure French guy who was like supposed to be like a defensive specialist, but like no one talked about him since. And even like developing young talent, like I remember they had Kevin Knox, Alonzo Trier, and no one knows their names anymore. It seems like they don't get NBA minutes no more.
It's so sad.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
They could have been.
I was so excited for them.
It's the Knicks ruined them, and I don't know what's going to happen to Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, Mitchell Robinson. Like the roster right now isn't really paving the way for them to succeed because you got Quickly, who's playing behind D Rose when he comes back, Jalen Brunson. So I guess he's a 6-man role. Who knows? You got Obi Toppin. Like we kind of saw how Amari Stoudemire, his career like died there, and he plays a similar role to what Amari Stoudemire would play. And then Mitchell Robinson was literally like airing out how like he doesn't like his role in the Knicks. Like you don't get the touches he likes, and then he signed that extension. So we'll see how those careers go. So I think a lot of it comes down to like their coaching staff too. Like think of who they had. They had David Fizdale, who was absolute garbage. They had the Isaiah Thomas years. Those were some rough years. And now Tom Thibodeau, who doesn't play those young players. So like it puts those careers at risk, and just he's not a good fit for their franchise and what their vision is, if they even have a vision. Like I really don't know. Like I feel so bad for New York City because like I took a trip there recently, and like they're so dedicated to garbage, like those teams are just there to like squash their hopes, and it's like hard to watch. And that's just an L franchise right there, is the Knicks.
Yeah, back on your Thibodeau point.
And you know what's crazy?
Oh yeah,
that's like the mecca of basketball, bro. Like that's where hoopers are supposed to come out of, like. And then tying to your L franchise, just a little bit away from basketball, you got the Giants, you got the Jets. Like, bro, even they're terrible. You know what I'm saying? Their only good team
Very.
is their soccer team, and nobody pays attention to soccer. So just like, damn.
Back to your Thibodeau point. Back in 2011, Chicago fans knew that pain of not playing young players. So we know that pain, and I'm sorry for the Knicks fans for that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like it's a Tom Thibodeau thing. Like, their young players never last on the Knicks. Like, never. Like, you can go way back. Like Vaughn said, like J.R. Smith has a ring with Cleveland. Like Shumpert, like
I forgot about him.
Like, it's not like recently. I feel like they've never been able to keep a hold of their young players, and all they do is like try to get these aging vets or like that one guy to stay as long as possible. I don't see what their vision is. Like, is it like win now, or is it like let's hope we win? I don't get what they're going for.
I remember like Spike Lee's their biggest fan, and I remember there was even that like controversy where like Spike Lee was in the back, like he's always in the back, like talking to players, and they banned him from the arena for that. Like that, like that's their greatest supporter right there. Like he might as well be an ambassador for the team, and they banned him.
Hey, they even banned Charles Oakley, bro. They even banned Charles Oakley, bro.
They banned their own player, bro.
They don't know what they're doing.
I don't know if it's like a New York, like the people of New York thing, or just they're that bad. But if you got your own fans booing you, I don't know what that should be. That should be a wake up call. I don't know. I don't know who that falls on exactly, but come on, bro. Like even Julius Randle was clapping back at the fans. Like, come on. It's just a mess over there, man.
Yeah. And like Eugene said, like it's not just basketball, like baseball fans, like football, like they're all struggling over there, and like I pray for success for New York fans, like because they really need it. Moving on, nominated by Eugene, he said, and these fans will never boo their fans. The Indiana Pacers. Eugene, that's a really interesting one. Why'd you say Pacers?
Bro, they don't have a chip. They don't have one. They don't have a single chip, bro. Like, it's not that they've been okay. They really haven't been ass. Like, besides these, past few years. Because, they had, Reggie Miller and them, the whole Mouse the Palace squad. They had PG-13 and Roy Hibbert, that squad that was competing with LeBron and them. So it's just like they always been like on the steady pace, but now as of late, it's just kind of like, what are y'all doing? Just kind of rebuild or trade or something. Just make some kind of moves to where y'all can compete. Now, I don't watch the Pacers whatsoever. So I don't know how good or bad they are, but it's just the fact that they're always kind of like middle of the pack, but just good enough to be better than, 15 seed. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take on it.
I think a good representation for that franchise right now in its current state is Miles Turner. Like, what are they doing with him? Like, he's been in trade rumors for years, and he's still there. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, they gotten rid of like so many people since Turner has been there, and like there's not a sign of him going anywhere still. Like we had two not superstars, but two really good players leave. Sabonis and Bogdanovic and Brogdon, and Turner is still there.
Even Victor Oladipo, when he was there, is playing. Like,
yep.
Do something.
Like they haven't. They make moves, but they don't make the right ones.
No, they don't. It's like an NBA farming system, really. It's like the teams can be like, okay, who's a good player on the Pacers? Like, who are they building up over there so we could take and make him like use him right? Like that's really what it is. Paul George left. Look at him now, finding way like not way more success, but a little bit better success. Like,
Right.
it's just a farming system for players to go in and be like, we want him. Thanks, Indiana. Thanks for holding him for us. Like, we appreciate that.
Are they trying to rebuild or contend? Because who do they have? Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield, and they obviously y'all said
Chris
Turner.
Duarte.
Yeah,
Right.
like I ain't gonna lie, I don't know anyone else aside of. I swear to God,
Like, bro, I don't know, bro.
Like, do they even have the younger Holiday brother anymore? Like, is he gone or?
I actually don't know.
No clue.
I have no
Wait,
clue.
That
Which
just proves our
Holiday?
Aaron.
I
The
think
youngest.
that's
I don't-
Aaron, right? Yeah.
Aaron? Okay.
Did he?
Wait, who's Justin Holiday play for then?
I don't see. That's what we don't know. Indiana's just like a gray area in the NBA. It's like purgatory. It's like purgatory almost. I don't know. It's weird.
It's my point earlier to when I said my poverty franchise definition. Like Pacers fit that a little too well. Like it's kind of insane. It's also wild because like Tyler like said it. Like, are they contending or are they rebuilding? Because like they're in that spot where they're not either. Like they're not low enough to get a high draft pick, but they're also not high enough to be to make a good playoff run. So I was like, what are y'all doing? Are y'all like
Right.
trying to sell
Just literally like smack dab middle of the pack, bro.
It's
They're the definition of like NBA purgatory. Like for real. It's crazy.
and another purgatory team. I said the Pistons. I nominated them. The reason why I nominated them is they had in the past, like I would say 10 years, 2009, 4-0, 2016, 4-0, 2019, 4-0. So those are their last 3 playoff runs, and all ended in sweeps. They have a 39 win percentage of all time.
In the playoffs?
Like of all time, no.
Oh,
like,
jeez.
In 2014, in 2022 they were the 14th seed, 21 the 15th, 20th the 13th, 18 and 18 they were the 9th, and then 10 they were the 17th seed. And all that just to end with like maybe a couple good rookies. Like you've been that low and your only good rookie is like Cunningham and the recent pickup Ivy. Like that's it.
And an Ivy. Yeah.
That's your only like
That's pretty bad.
like
That's real sad because like they're a historic franchise too, like the Isaiah Thomas Celtics, like the Bad Boys, Pistons, sorry, and then the Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, like they were nice, like they were like a team to respect, and now they're like no one cares. Like I think a trade.
Like everybody's dogging them.
Yeah, like the Sacramento Kings didn't even want Marvin Bagley, and Detroit said, "Let's take him."
I think it. Oh
no, go ahead.
I was just saying. I think it's bad when like people barely remember those teams, but they remember the Malice and the Palace more so than those like legendary teams.
Literally.
Like, come on,
Literally.
bro. I feel like that kind of speaks on that.
Yeah, I just think it's a drafting problem. Like I'm looking at their draft picks and it's like Killian Hayes, Bruce Brown, Luke Kennard. Like in years where like you can get some pretty good people in these years and like they just I don't know, like the 7th pick was Killian Hayes. Like in 2020, like I know that wasn't like that exciting, but it also wasn't like that bad to where that's the 7th pick.
Right.
So I don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
I think it might just be a scouting issue, low key. Because they picked up Cade, top 3, right?
Yeah.
And then you said Killian was 7, and then Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
Was he a lottery pick?
He was pick 5.
He was a lottery pick. So I don't. Yeah, it might just be like a scouting issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
When
just
your
like
own
one scout knows who to pick, and another scout's just like, I don't know. I don't know how scouting goes, but
like your only good pick in recent years was when you had the first overall pick.
exactly. Like
Cade was number one pick for like years. And so like it was like, okay, you can't mess this up. Like and look, they did it. Like
right. He carrying.
yeah.
Doing what he's supposed to be doing.
And like we've mentioned how like some players go there and even though they have good seasons, they're not mentioned. But like Marvin Bagley's kind of doing better on the Pistons. And like Drummond was only good on the Pistons. Blake Griffin got a 3-pointer on the Pistons. Like it's not like I don't know how to say it. It's not like it's technically like purgatory like Indiana where you just like don't do anything for years. But it's just like when you're doing good, 9 times out of 10, you're the only one doing good. Like everyone else is like just not performing, or it's just like this is who they drafted to play with me this year. Like I'm looking at what other teams picked, and this is what y'all give me.
Right.
So that's all I have to say about the Pistons. Moving on to, I think, another losing franchise. Tyler nominated this team, the Timberwolves. Tyler, I don't think you have to explain yourself that much.
Come on, bro. Yeah. Okay. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do in the upcoming season, but we're just gonna put that aside in this past season. The last time they made the playoffs was 2018, when they got Jimmy Butler. But the gap between them making that playoffs was 14 years. That's when they had an MVP Kevin Garnett. out of that, right? Hold on. They've only won one individual award, and that was one MVP for Kevin Garnett. They had a conference finals appearance, but they didn't win the conference finals, obviously, and zero time. Like, ain't nothing else to say. Like, come on, bro. They just have a really bad history. Like right now they're looking really good. I think they're looking really good, but just from 20 just last season, yeah, come on. That's poverty right there.
Yeah, that's like definition of poverty. I think they're like the losingest franchise in all the NBA, aren't they?
I believe so, and I think Tim Duncan himself has more wins than that entire franchise.
But also with that, I think they're one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, I think that too.
Yeah, but
I mean, still having a losing record is pretty bad. But
yeah, it's very
like at this point, that shouldn't be an excuse anymore.
Right.
Yeah, they got all these individual like awards, like couple rookie of the years, all NBAs, a lot of all-star game awards. I had to just double check on that to see, but it's just not a winning franchise, at least right now. But sheesh, I know y'all got probably some more to say. I don't know if I hit everything, but
I mean, there's nothing to say about the Timberwolves.
I was about to say,
what is there to talk about?
It's 14 years not making the playoffs. Like, that's literally it.
Like aside Kevin Garnett, I can't really think of anybody else like that I remember like in the past like that. Like that, Latrell Sprewell, I think. Like,
well,
Marbury.
They had Levine.
Oh
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think he was a third option on that team because it was what they had they have Cat still, Wiggins and Levine and Rubio. I don't even know what they was like trying to do then because they had like veteran players like Rubio and young players like Cat, Wiggins, and Levine and all that.
Didn't the Timberwolves have 3 picks ahead of Curry and took like 2 point guards over?
Yeah, they could have got Steph Curry. I think.
Bro, so many people passed on Steph, bro.
Yeah, it's wild.
I think a side note is the playoffs. when they made it with Jimmy Butler. It was not the Timberwolves making the playoffs. It was Jimmy Butler making the playoffs. Like, he was shitting on that team, like famously that one practice. Like, I'll take the third stringers and win against the the squad right now.
And like, and they got bounced out in 5, but like, and Jimmy was coming off an injury and he still did what he could. But it's just like, damn, bro, like you putting all that on him, like he was coming off a bad injury.
Yeah, because Thibodeau was the coach then, and he'd have Jimmy Butler play the whole game, and then he tore his meniscus.
Oh yeah, then they were trying to make the Timberwolves back then. I remember that they had that little nickname.
They had
You had
Timberwolves.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't know what they was trying to bring back. Glory days. This ain't 2012, bro. Rose is beat up. Taj is old. Luau is super old. Jimmy's the only one in his prime. Like, sad, bro.
I think us talking about the Timberwolves kind of shines some light on why they celebrated so much when they won the play-ins. The Minnesota needed that, bro. Minnesota needed that.
We're
And
not
bro,
trash.
we had Patrick Beverly out there celebrating like he spent 10 years on that franchise, bro.
Oh God,
Like, bro.
he's standing on the score table like he D-Wade.
He threw his jersey in the crowd and shit.
Standing
Like,
on the
bruh.
score table like he D-Wade or something, bro. Like, get out of here. I think he was crying too, like as they were going back into the tunnels.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
Tears of joy. Like,
I think it was mostly because they beat the Clippers, which is why he celebrated like that. But still, it's like you've been there for like a year and like some couple months. Like you're acting like you poured your heart and soul for Minnesota.
and then Memphis gave y'all the work. Like, come on, bro.
Facts.
If they weren't
Moving
dumb,
on. Oh,
that was probably a win for them. I'm just saying, but they were dumb. Like Carl Towns celebrating like in the middle of the game. Like, game's not over.
Oh, don't even get me started
and then
on
they, like,
him, bro.
clown themselves. Oh my god.
Ever since Beverly got there, he was trying to act all like he was hard or something like that. I'll never get over that post game. You know how he normally sounds. He kind of got like that nasally voice, and I forgot. He's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
job not done. We just gotta keep attacking, bro. That is not you. You are not Kobe.
He
Stop
said
it.
you are not hard.
You are not him. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player, but nah, bro.
moving on to another team that hasn't seen the playoffs in quite some time. Nominated by Vaughn, the Sacramento Kings. Another team that, like, I feel like you don't need to do a lot of talking for.
Let me just say this: 16 years. It's been 16 years since they went to the playoffs. If you're a Sacramento King fan, why? Just switch. No one would blame you. Like, come on now. Like, consistent. They have consistency in being dumb in their decision making. Like,
yeah.
Vlade Divac. Even 2015, he'd been there. Even longer than that. Like, questionable decision after questionable decision. I wrote down a little bit of mistakes here, and just some of the dumb things they've done. All right. So draft picks. 2012, you picked Thomas Robinson over Dame Lillard. Who is Thomas Robinson?
Yo, I forgot about him. Yo.
And you know what's crazy? That fool went to the Blazers. He literally went to the Blazers.
I remember that because he had that nasty block on Corey Brewer, and they had the whole sequence. That's the only highlight I remember of him from. Like, yo.
All right. Following year, they want a shooting guard. Okay. They picked Ben McLemore. Okay. You got a shooting guard. Could have had Giannis. It was within reach. Could have had Giannis. You weren't a good team. And then on the raw prospect, then okay. 2014, who do they want? Another shooting guard. Nick Stauskas. And they picked Nick Stauskas over Zach LaVine. Like, what? Okay, 2015. All right, you got Boogie. You got, like, who was it? Tyreek Evans. Okay, who are you going to pick? Willie Cauley-Stein.
Oh, man. Throwback.
I think I remember that.
Could have had Devin Booker if you really needed a shooting guard because you knew they needed one after Nick Stauskas. Okay, 2017. Yeah. 2017. Don't know what the structure team is. Could have had Donovan Mitchell. No. They picked Zach Collins. Why? Like, even in college? Yeah, even in college, no offensive game. not a bag. Why did you choose him? I don't know. And then, of course, 2018, Marvin Bagley over Luka. I mean, that kind of speaks for itself. But I think where they could have turned it around was around 2014, 2015. But instead, 2014, they decided to trade Isaiah Thomas. Fan favorite, averaging 20 and 6. And what did they get for it? A trade exception. They got money for him. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. 2014, 2015 season, off to a good start. You're winning your first five out of 6 games. That's pretty good by King standards. Mike Malone, second year of coaching. He has a good relationship with DeMarcus Cousins. You know, he's got DeMarcus got a hot head, but Mike Malone and him work together really well. Okay. They're 9 and 6. Boogie goes out with mysterious illness. Turns out he got meningitis. All right. That's all right. Team starts to lose. They go down, record 11-13. They fire Mike Malone! The star player is sick, and they fire Mike Malone! Why? And you see what he's doing with the Nuggets. He's a solid coach, but like,
I was about to say they make playoffs with him too. So like,
Mike Malone is. I like Mike Malone.
apparently not good enough for the Kings. Let's
Standards
see,
they
2015. Wait, what?
I was just saying, what standards do they have, man? Like,
None. Okay. The 2015 Nick Stauskas trade. You know, you chose him over Zach LaVine. Whatever. Okay. What did they get for him? Got let's see, a swap pick for 2017 and an unprotected 2019 pick. Why? It's a salary dump trade. They're just trying to get rid of a salary, but they traded picks in that. Why? The 2017 pick, that swap with the 76ers, ended up being for the 3rd pick. And that 3rd pick traded for the 1st pick for Markelle Fultz. I mean, maybe they don't choose Markelle Fultz. You could have had a potential 3rd first rounder right there, and you traded it for cash. No reason why. And then recently, the Tyrese Halliburton trade. That's a guy you need, is Tyrese Halliburton. He has vision. He can score on multiple levels. And what do you want to do? Trade him for Domantas Sabonis. Why? Okay, they want to make the playoffs this year? Okay. You know where they ended? Outside the play-in tournament. Pointless trade, gave up their future. So it's just like that's their franchise right there. It's just what's the list of dumbest decisions? Let's do that one. That's that franchise.
I will never get over them passing up Luka because of the most pettiest thing ever. Vlade Divac does not like Luka's dad. That's the only reason they didn't get him. You could have been. You had what? De'Aaron Fox, did he get drafted the year before? Right?
something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Could you just imagine them two on a team? Like, I mean, we don't know how it would have ended, but he would have had some help. Like, I know they would have.
You would have had something, bro. Like
I think it's funny. De'Aaron Fox, like, he kind of had like a down year last season, but I don't think that's even De'Aaron Fox's fault. I think he's tired in Sacramento. He's tired of the losing. Like,
there's no way he's not.
I feel like I was just gonna say, I feel like Kings fans are just on suicide watch every like minute, bro. Like, there's always something that just makes them disappointed, and it's very sad to see as an organization, dude. Like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I wonder. Take the team out of Sacramento. Just, swoop, whoop, doop. Get them out of there.
Throw them to Vegas or Seattle.
Yeah, I was about
please.
to say, move to Vegas, bro.
Oh, God.
Like, the fact that every time Fox had like a second option, he was gone like a year or two later. It's kind of crazy. Like, when Hield was going off with him and Fox, and now he's on Indiana. Like, yeah, they don't know what they're doing over there.
It's terrible. It's bad.
Very.
Moving on, Eugene nominated the Magic, the Orlando Magic.
How many guards do they have on their team, bro? They got Cole Anthony.
13.
They got Jalen Suggs. They got don't they
Harris.
still have Markel?
Yeah. They have Harris.
Markel,
Gary
Gary
RJ
Harris.
Hampton, Gary
Yep.
Harris.
Like, bro, the list just goes on.
Terrence Ross, I think, unless he plays the 3, but it depends. I feel like he's more.
Right.
I feel like
he might play
forward,
2-3.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
would
a
count
shooting
it.
guard. Like, he's a shooting guard, you know?
I would count it. Yeah.
So it's just like, and okay, like they're a young team. So obviously, you know, but when was the last time they made the playoffs?
It was Vooch's second to last season. It was DJ Augustine going off in the playoffs.
Oh, against the Raptors.
Like-
I remember that.
Like, bruh, it's been a minute. Because first of all, where even is DJ Augustine? We ain't heard that name in forever.
Wasn't he with the Lakers? at,
Vucevic
like
left how many seasons ago?
2, 3, shit.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, and then pre that, I think it might have been Dwight Howard, like making the playoffs.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
like that also might be a management thing or just not knowing how to draft correctly. Because why you drafted Cole Anthony 2 seasons ago, and then you draft Jalen Suggs the year after. Why are you drafting
and he
the hella guards? You know,
You
They
can even
do
go back
have,
to like
what's his face, Mo Bamba, but he hasn't been performing like he should be.
Yeah, and then you got Wendell Carter Jr., who
he's like
from
a
what I've seen, he's
double-double.
been doing somewhat good. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't even pay attention to Orlando like that.
Right? It's
Like,
just, bro, it's just the hella young teams. Just obviously they're not going to do as well as higher seeds, but it's just the Magic as a franchise. I think low key since probably Oladipo and wasn't Tobias Harris on that squad too.
he sure was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think since those years, they just haven't been the same, like whatsoever.
It is a mismanagement problem because you can even go back to like Shaq's years, like when his free agency came up. I think I remember an interview where he was like, the Magic just didn't try hard enough to keep him.
Right.
Like they're the bright shiny lights of LA, but like the Magic like saw him leaning towards Lakers. Like, okay, bye. Like that's Shaq, man. You gotta try harder than that.
Oh,
You gotta give him the world.
Man had a 60 piece against Michael Jordan or something like that. From what I remember, like, come on, bro.
Yeah. They also, when they did match the Lakers, they waited until like a couple days before like he decided to leave. It's like you waited that long, like you knew how much they were offering, and you just now are matching it. Like, come on.
Right. It was way too late at that point.
And I'm pretty sure the only reason why they didn't draft a guard this year is because of Paolo. Like that's the only. If he wasn't in this draft, they probably would have drafted a guard.
Right. And even still with that though, with drafting him, he plays like a guard.
Yeah.
Like like he's
It's like,
he's taller than
The average guard,
right,
yeah.
than like 6'5", right? Isn't he like 6'7" or something?
Something like that. So
I think so, yeah.
But he literally plays exactly like a point guard plays. He can play make, he can shoot, he can rebound because of his height, It's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I feel like they got to draft bigger, which hopefully this leads into that, but I don't know. I don't know what the Magic are doing. I don't know what any of
Maybe
these
they're
franchises are
stocking
doing.
up.
on
They
God.
gotta be like waiting for like a Magic trade to like save their franchise, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Literally.
If they were gonna do it, they'd trade some of their guards for Donovan Mitchell, but that didn't happen.
That
so.
already happened. And it's like Orlando, just all of Florida, whether it's Miami or Orlando, great market, people love watching basketball out there. But it's just like the Magic they just suck. They just suck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Like, I'm mad that we did the Gary Harris to Gordon trade. But like, I don't even know what the Magic win for that trade. Like, if you look at the year before, Harris didn't perform that great, and like he's also injury prone. Like, I love Harris, I'm a big fan of Harris, but like Aaron Gordon for him, if I didn't like Harris so much, I would be happy about that trade because like Gordon was like their last hope, like their last beacon of hope.
And then they
said, "Psych, out of here." Like,
I don't get Orlando or any of these teams for that matter.
Facts. Not a lot of people will agree with me this one. I put Portland as one of the poverty franchises, and the only reason why
I'm gonna say this now. I don't agree with that. Go ahead.
the only reason why I put Portland is because they just don't know how to build. It's Dame. They got Dame and McCollum in 2015, and they got Nurkic in 2016. Since then, their only valuable pickup has been Simmons in 2018. Nurkic is still there. McCollum is gone. Dame just re-signed. Who else is on that team? Like, seriously, you cannot tell me like Dame got injured and they sunk. Like, they plummeted. Not only
I can understand why you think they're a poverty franchise.
Yeah, I can get where you're coming from.
But nah.
No, you cannot tell me if Dame left this season, they would be a good team. If Dame,
they're bottom feeding.
You could say that with a lot of
like
teams losing their star player though. Like if you lose Luke on the Mavericks, it's not like the Mavericks can be good.
Right. I was literally about to bring that up.
But the Mavericks have like a good like streak. Like, it's not like Luka has been their only good player for like ever. Like, they had a chip in the past almost 10 years. In the past 10 years, Portland has won 4 rounds. That's it. Like,
nah, that's actually wild. That is actually wild.
So, like,
they did go Western Conference final though against the Warriors, and they got swept. But like, I think
that's understandable, honestly.
That's not what a poverty franchise does. I think it's hard to attract people to Portland because heroin addicts be wild out there. But,
it's Portland. Like, we're trying to go to Oregon.
Yeah, but like,
unless you're playing college football, like
the fact that
I'd agree. Like, their recent trades have been like ticky tack. Like, you had Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and you gave them away for rookies, and then CJ McCollum, you got Josh Hart back, and like Joe Ingles for some reason.
Yeah, they got rid of Larry.
But yeah. So I think they want to carve out a role bigger for Anthony Simons. Jeremy Grant is there. Nurkic is there, I guess. So it's not like they're not trying.
Nurkic is,
and it's not like they've been garbage. Like, you even go back to when LaMarcus Aldridge was there. They had LaMarcus Aldridge, they had Brandon Roy, and they were pretty solid team in themselves too. So it's not like a Wizards or a Pacers or a Timberwolves. Like, they've always been trying to compete.
Yeah, but I think they're on the edge of getting to the point where they're gonna be poverty coming up. Like, if Dame left, they would have a pretty like 3 years of just ass, because Nurkic is not that much of a help. Like, after McCollum was traded, it was basically like game over for their season last year. And not only that, but like they gave Simmons a lot of money, and they still have Dame. So they're basically like getting ready to like start rebuilding, it feels like. Also, like,
that's another team with $200 million men. I just realized that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, huh? Simon signed for that one. Was it 100 million flat?
Yeah.
My point is, they had Dame, Nurkic, and McCollum since 2016, and all they've done is get Simmons in that 6-year span. Like, they picked up Carmelo. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love Carmelo, but that Carmelo pickup was so bad after what he just after what did Carmelo do on the Blazers?
I think
he was clutch as hell.
Yeah, I think he was a good bench player. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
After that black ball, he had something to prove, for real.
No way, bro.
After that black ball,
absolutely. Like they
Wow.
were like saying, "Oh, Carmelo here in the clutch." Like this is like he was actually a contributor to that team.
Yeah, and then they got rid of him for whatever reason, but still, like, still a
Also,
good pickup.
I think it's fair for you to say like Anthony Simons, like that's their only good draft pickup in a while. But that's because they're like always a playoff team or a fringe playoff team, and like their picks aren't going to be like really high up there.
Yeah, but like they also haven't made any like insane trades or like even like tried. Like, what did they get out of the McCollum trade? I don't even remember. I don't know at
Well, with
all.
their trades, you got to think
Smart, I think.
their trades are literally dumb. You
Yeah,
know,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
because it's like they traded McCollum for whatever. They traded what's his face, Gary Trent, that one season.
To
Like he
Toronto.
literally
Yeah.
popped off in the playoffs, and then they traded him away for whatever reason. They did just get what's his face, Gary Payton, right?
hmm that was a good pickup, I guess. Like,
Right. So it's just like I don't know. The Blazers are weird. I feel like they're kind of like
it's like
they're
that
like
scene
a
from
tier above the Pacers. I feel like they're a tier above the Pacers.
It kind
they're
of
like
seems
that scene from Spider-Man, and Dame is Spider-Man, and he's holding the boat together that is the Blazers. That's what it is. Like,
it's
I had a friend, you guys know him, Gabe. We were talking the other day, and he told me, he said, when we played the Pelicans, I didn't know McCollum was that good. And I said, yeah, no one did because he was on Portland. They treated him like garbage over there.
Bro, it's not that. It's just he wasn't the primary ball handler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've always loved CJ McCollum.
Oh, McCollum is that guy.
Right,
solid, yeah.
exactly. It's just he got, overshadowed by Dame for obvious reasons. But once he, got traded to the Pelicans, it was him and BI mainly ball handling. So then it was like, the NBA was just like, oh, like he's actually a good player. When meanwhile, he only averaging like 20 when he could really average 30 plus, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like I'm only saying poverty because I just feel like they've had two good players for so long. And like I said, it's like the Spider-Man conversation. Like Dame is holding that team. Like there's a lot of times where the Blazers shouldn't have been as good as they were. And Dame was like, I'm that guy and pull them through. So I just feel like they're a fringe poverty team. Like no one's gonna go there, but also at the same time, they're not gonna be like at the same level as the Kings. I would agree with Eugene in saying that they're like barely a tier above the Pacers, and that's only because they have Dame.
right, if like it's literally all up to Dame. If he leaves, poverty. Like that's it.
It's game over for them after that. But like he's staying, Bradley Beal staying on the Wizards. Like we can't. This isn't my league where we can force a trade. Turn it like that. That's my defense of my Portland answer.
I wonder how painful it is when they say, I firmly believe that I can bring a championship to this team. Like when they say I wonder how much pain just shoots up in their body when they say it, when they know that shit ain't gonna happen. Like at least
I don't know why.
That's how I think sometimes.
I don't know why the fans believe them. Like
They're just clinging on the hope.
It's
bro.
just the hope. Yep, it's just the hope.
It's just,
They were justifying like those dumb trades, like the trade, the Norman Powell getting rid of them. Like, oh, we're clearing cap space for a big free agent. Oh, who's going to Portland?
yeah, Dame posted a picture of him and KD, and now KD's still in Brooklyn.
Bro, like that went so crazy.
and it seems like Dame don't even care about. I'm not gonna say he don't care about the team like that because it's the offseason and all that. But he didn't even know his own team won the summer league chip. Like I know it's not that important, but it's like damn, still like you still want to kind of keep tabs on the team.
Yes.
This fool was in like Barbados or something.
Chilling by
bro,
the pool,
like...
just y'all won. Oh, nice, bro. It's
Yeah, so
sad, man.
I just
I
feel
may
like
not agree with you. Like they're a poverty franchise yet, but they're in a tough spot.
Yeah.
yeah, they're those teams where like if you were to like rank them, they could go in like that mid spot and anywhere in that mid spot because like just like the Pacers, like you rank them, they can go anywhere because it's just like, are they bad or are they good? Like, but I think we have some time to do maybe. I'm gonna pick the interesting ones here, the ones that got me thinking. Eugene said the Jazz. Let's talk about that, Eugene.
You want to know something
Now they
crazy?
are on.
This was before the Donovan trade happened.
Yes,
So,
it was.
so they're now an even more poverty franchise. So now, okay, so I'm gonna do my mindset before the trade and after the trade.
Okay.
So before the trade, it's just Donovan. They not he okay, perfect. Donovan is the Spider-Man.
Hey, it fits with his nickname too.
Now that he's gone, they're in shambles. They're literally in shambles. Now after he's gone, there's nothing there. They are rebuilding. They are in a complete rebuild mode.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see what happens with Colin Sexton and how they try and like rebuild that team for him. At least that's what I assume. That's what I think they're gonna do. Because he signed that basically max extension. Yeah. So
4 years, 72. I think all of it was guaranteed.
yeah, something like that. So it'll be interesting. But I think they're an even more poverty franchise than they were before.
Literally, the argument of me saying if Dame leaves happened to the Jazz.
Literally.
He was like, if Donovan leaves, they're a poverty. Donovan's like, okay, I want to see that happen. Bye. Like,
that was the absolute perfect transition.
yes, especially because, yeah, what's even crazier is you said this last week. We record these on Sundays, and you said that last week.
Or pre-trade.
We didn't even know a trade was gonna be in the works.
Right.
Like, we had no idea.
That's so wild. That's so wild.
I think that's what we're gonna call it. Unless, do we want to talk about? Because Eugene also nominated the Hornets. Want to talk about that?
They're poverty for sure.
Yeah, what have they done, bro?
They
Because
signed
first of all, they change names like every 5 years. They went from like the Bobcats, the Hornets, went back to the Bobcats, and then back to the Hornets.
I was getting into basketball around that time. I was confused as hell, bro. I was so confused. That was when I was getting into basketball. I was like, wait, I thought they were the Like, I was so confused.
Bro, I was a basketball fan and I was confused. I'm like, bro, why y'all changing y'all name? But
yeah, New Orleans had their name for a little bit and everything.
Exactly. It's just like it seemed okay. I was excited to see what they were going to do this year. All their players in jail.
27 days, 27 nights.
Like, bro, is Melo in trouble or not? I don't think he is.
No, I think he's chilling. I think he's chilling.
So he's the only one free right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They probably not gonna do nothing.
I think. Yeah,
they haven't. Oh no, they went to the play-in, got blasted.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
I think it was 2 years in a row, wasn't it?
Yes, because there's that 1 year where they got blasted and I don't know what team it was, but someone was like, "Get these scrubs out of here."
Yeah.
They lost by like 40 or some ridiculous shit like that. Like, it was
insane. Literally insane.
Yeah, I think.
And then prior to that, it even as the Bobcats, they weren't all that great. So it was just they're like poverty of the poverty right now.
They wasted Kemba Walker's entire prime on that team.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
This man is the all-time leading scorer for that franchise, and he was there for what, 9-10 seasons,
Something like that.
bro.
Bro, Jeremy Lin showed up and it was like, let me take y'all to the promised land. And then they got rid of him.
Yeah,
They got rid of him.
he was like the only good thing. I will never forgive Charlotte for that, man.
Neither would I, bro.
That is
Like,
so
that-
terrible.
Even recently, they're like, all right, who do we need? Terry Rozier. Let's sign him for $100 million. Crazy bag to give him. All right, who else are we
Insane.
gonna get? Gordon Hayward, $140 million.
Nah, that was the biggest finesse in NBA history, bro. Gordon Hayward 140 is insane.
He
That
ran
is
off with that 140,
mind-boggling. He could retire right now and have generational wealth, bro. That contract,
Bro, I don't know what they were thinking. I remember seeing that. I was
I
like,
don't think-
what?
that was the whole NBA, bro.
I
We
don't think
saw
he's ever
Woj
played
tweet that and we were
60
like,
games, bro.
I
what?
didn't believe it. I don't know what they're doing either,
I
bro.
don't know.
Like,
Michael Jordan don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah, fast. Jordan doesn't even stay for full games.
Literally,
He'd be
man.
leaving without hesitation. He's like, all right, I'm out of here.
man just faded off the Henny in the VIP lounge, just watching this.
I got
Watching-
cigars to smoke.
Yeah,
Pretty
bro.
much. Like,
Hornets.
Yeah, pretty poverty. All right, and that's what I'm gonna call it. That's a good place to call it right there. Next week's topic. This is the last topic before we start looking towards the season. Next week's topic will be most influential players. You know, players who just really changed the game. I can name a few, but I don't want to give any spoilers away.
rather
I'm pretty
obvious.
sure I'm sure we all have players running in our minds. Brian Scalabrine, for example.
Yeah,
JaVale
JaVale McGee. Don't forget about him.
Lance Stevenson, you know, just influential
Yeah.
guys. Make sure if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast, give us those precious 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Check us out at on Twitter, TikTok at Spin the Rock. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you again next week.
Later.
Sir.
Yeah.